Funny story. I started another character. I'm joking. Maybe. The last time we played, I had finished getting to level 20 and had gathered quite a lot of good gear. The pants! But it's simply not good enough. At least, not for the kind of paladin I want to be. So, before I tell the story of Gluccose leveling from 20 to 30, grab some grub, get comfortable, and enjoy the video. Consider subscribing, it's free, you can always change your mind later, and it means the world to me. Okay, bye. As experienced as I sound about this game, I have little to no knowledge about this game. So you can imagine my surprise when I stumbled upon this massive bonfire and quests surrounding it. You could tell I was brand new to this stuff, because after reading the quest description twice, I tried tossing a torch into the fire 11 times, only to reread the quest description again and find that I'm just stupid. I'm supposed to throw it at these, the marked braziers. My reading skills are through the roof, I know. After figuring that out, I dominated at this torch toss, never missing a single, that one doesn't count, never missing a single throw. And thank you game for noticing that I was going to struggle throwing anywhere but forward. Next up was tossing a torch in the air and catching it 4 times in a row. And believe me when I say, I never did this season quest again. After spending 20 minutes staring at a man's could never. At least I leveled up from it though. Heading to Westfall, I started groundwork for my insane paladin hammer. If you don't know what hammer I'm talking about, it's this. Virginan's Fist. Something like that? And I mean it when I say it's insanely good. 7 stamina, 6 intellect, 12 spirit. The perfect weapon to use while leveling solo till about level 30. Paladins are just insanely good and can single-handedly kill anything. But there's always a limit to this that I would soon realize. Since this quest was requested level 21, I quested till I hit 21, and then I went to the location where the final stand would take place. First wave was easy to manage, and so was the second. But the third is where I got stuck. Running out of mana, no way to heal, and 2 people left, I died. But I thought that was pretty close. Maybe if I didn't work. Well, what if it also didn't work? What if I just don't change anything? It worked. Bruh. I was about to head to the next part of the quest when I saw something interesting in the dungeon finder. A level 70 was running us 20-ish levels through dead mines. I didn't know you had to pay until after I joined the group. So after I grabbed my new shield from the paladin trainer, I asked if I could just tag along and gather nodes since no one in the group was a miner. In the end, I went back to Stormwind hauling massive amounts of ore to bolster my blacksmithing skill. Whoa, hold up, my bag space is huge. I can't remember when it happened, but I was asking for someone who could help me make some wool bags if I provided the wool. Shout out to this guy who agreed. But after he told me to wait, he came back trading me nether weave bags and some gold on top. I couldn't even express my gratitude for the bags since it's been terrible keeping up with my profession and having space for questing. So I said thank you, maybe too many times, and we went our separate ways. I hope life is treating him very nicely. Anyways, after all that, I was sent to the outside of Ironforge to tell a legendary blacksmith that I saved their wife from death's grip. He then said thank you, but if you go grab all this stuff from places you'll likely die, I'll reward you with a weapon fit for a paladin. And that begins the grind of this hammer. It's the next day, and I began my recording dancing with a cat, waiting for a boat to Theramore Isles. They started complimenting my name. Safe to say I was being rizzed up by this cat quite smoothly, but then he tried to shove someone into the water once we got on the boat. Quite a lovely fella. Once arriving, I began my very long walk to Ashtanar. I'm heading up this way to begin preparing for a dungeon. I like how there's summoning stones at every dungeon entrance, but I'm also the kind of guy who wants to run over to the dungeons I'm about to do. So getting the fastest flight point to said dungeons is a must to me. It also just makes life easier for people I party with, knowing that we only need 1 person at the stone to begin right off the bat. But this also implies I must be used to death runs, since I'm on a PvP server when I do these runs. Actually, no. I prefer playing PvE, but since my friend is a PvP addict, I'm on here. So you can imagine my surprise when I got jumped on the road twice during this run. It scared me so bad that I tried to run away, but to no avail. At least I grabbed the flight paths I needed. and at some point I was asked to dungeon delve as a backup healer because the group couldn't find one for the life of them. So, being the kind human I am, I let them summon me to the Dead Mines for one last run. Overall, I think healers are just the coolest class you can play in any MMO game, but paladin healers take the cake. There's something so awesome about being in front of the enemy's face and just healing the guy they're trying to kill while all they can do is give you a deadpan stare as they die. Do I sound crazy saying that? Oh baby, we're so back! Before I head back to Ashtanar, I'm taking a pit stop here for 3 things. The quest about stopping explosives, ogre killing on the other side of the lake, and getting Jordan's ore shipment. Finding and retrieving the shipment wasn't hard, but finding and killing specific ogres was. After running around this place killing almost everything I needed, I decided to hop off and come back to the game later in the day when things respawned, and hopefully so I could group with someone for the elite quest in the cave. I can explain why. I work really early in the morning, so my days usually start at midnight when everyone is already or are going to bed, so it's hard to find people to play with when no one is up. It also explains why my recordings go from this to this, very often. If I could, I'd work a job that's a little more manageable with my time, but I also don't want to miss rent, so I can only complain. Yeah, remember when I said I'd continue things in Ashtanar? 'Cause I don't. My footage got corrupted, so here we are staring directly into a meeting stone waiting for the rest of the party. But there is some good news to this. I get to tank for real this time. Now that I'm level 23, I've got all the basic skills I need to mostly tank. As long as I'm given time to build up aggro, all should go to plan. But knowing impatience, I'll never be able to properly tank. Starting off the dungeon, we got me tanking, Lil Doozy DPSing, as our healer, Yerbalvul, what's with these names? DPSing, and Kindro as our last DPS. The run went very smooth. I've never tanked this dungeon, let alone any other but Dead Mines, so I was worried I'd wipe the party or even lead us astray. But I was lucky enough to be in a group of veterans playing alts, so I was able to ask for some directions. I was also able to grab the smithing hammer for Jordan, super sneakily till ruined it by running into the stables. But we were okay, just one guy to kill. And then the warrior provoked the horses for who knows why, and well, I felt bad.
Oh no. The horses.
We also got to see a very uncommon rare at the top of the walls. He dropped my 3rd armor upgrade. I don't know where the footage went, but these were my 2nd ones. Oh no, where am I, and how do I have the gem already? Turns out you don't actually have to do Black Fathom Deeps for the Paladin's quest. You can just kill people outside of it for a chance of the gem dropping, so that saved me a bunch of time finding a group. And now all my hard work can pay off. A few hours, 3 levels later, I finally have Virgin Anne's Fist. Oh yeah. I think if I had to pick my least favorite dungeon, it would be this one. Not because of how it looks or anything like that. Trust me, I think it's breathtaking in scale and design. It's the layout that ruins it. If we didn't have someone in the party who already experienced this place, we wouldn't have lasted. Turns out, no one knows how to run this dungeon, so I was very grateful that they did. Even more so since I didn't have to tank this and get everyone lost. The only things I got worth wearing were some green boots, which were 100% better than what I did have, and a ring that I didn't know if I should roll on, but decided to since it had mana regen and some health. I won it, but I have a few levels to wait till I can wear it. Darkshire is not my cup of tea. I'm a big fan for lush, green forests and lots of foliage coming from the floor, but the story here makes up for everything I dislike. On God, I think I did every single quest here just so I could get all the little details, and I was still craving more, especially Jitters' questline. As I went about leveling in Darkshire, I slowly found all the pages to his journal explaining how Darkshire became corrupted. When you first meet Jitters in Ravenhill Cemetery, he's terrified, jumps at every sound, speaks in panic, and seems convinced something is hunting him. But in truth, he's a man haunted by what he's seen and what he believes he caused. During Jitters' travels through Duskwood, he discovered the Scythe of Elune, an ancient cursed artifact buried near Rulin's Doom. The scythe wasn't just a relic, it carried a terrible curse connected to the Worgen. Strange creatures and supernatural horrors began appearing through Duskwood. Jitters became convinced that everything happened in the region was his fault. Trying to escape with the scythe, Jitters fled across Duskwood, and along the way he stopped at the farm of Sven Jorgen. Not long afterwards, dark riders and monsters came searching for the scythe and descended on the farm, leaving Sven to discover the murder of his family. That guilt stayed with Jitters forever. His journal only describes his horror, his shame, and the feeling that he had doomed innocent people simply by carrying this cursed artifact. By the time you come across him, Jitters is mentally exhausted. He can't sleep, he's startled by every noise, and he barely trusts anyone. Even something as simple as bringing him food is an enormous kindness because he's afraid to leave Ravenhill himself. And Jitter reveals everything he knows through his journal. Rather than trying to be a hero himself, he entrusts you to stop the evil spreading through Duskwood. And in Gluccose fashion, I learned all of this over the next few levels. By not doing the quest and flying around Azeroth for the next few hours, doing dungeon runs that included stockades and Scarlet Monastery, multiple deaths in between runs to new places on the map, and at some point starting a quest where I find a spy within the kingdom that was working with Edwin Van Cleef. I don't know, man. A lot of my footage became corrupted, but I'm working towards a better computer so that stuff like this stops happening.
Huzzah, let's go, baby. Okay, time to get that last bar of XP.
But after everything we went through, the long journey to level 30 was reached.
Hey, yes sir. I actually don't know how many of these people I need to kill.
And my gear, safe to say, was pretty goated. Kitted out with some heavy defense armor, I can finally do what Gluccose was made to do. Sitting on lampposts. Thanks for watching.